The original BioShock is considered an all-time classic in the world of video games. I went back to play it 17 years later to see if it holds up to our nostalgic memories, and if it deserves the title of masterpiece. I first played this game with my roommates in college, so if you want to, go ahead and grab your favorite seat on the couch. And if you really want to be accurate to my first playthrough, heat up some leftover Chinese food and crack open a bottle of hard cider. I'm HauntedHouse, and this is my experience revisiting the classic BioShock. Let's tune in. BioShock stars our hero, Jack, or if you do a quick Google search to confirm the protagonist of the first game's name, Jack. Apparently this is some sort of sequel to The Incredibles or something, I'm not sure. We start out on a flight and things don't exactly go our way. After crash landing in the middle of the ocean, we look to a nearby lighthouse and decide that's probably as good a place to go as any. Kind of impressive that we landed this close, if I'm being completely honest. I mean, all these nautical miles of ocean, and we just so happened to land here. We must be really lucky. Heading inside, we see somebody who's clearly not overcompensating for anything, honestly. And a bathysphere, which begins to take us on a magical journey. Well, it's like my dad always said, whenever you find yourself stranded in the middle of the ocean after a plane crash, you might as well take a bathysphere to an unknown location under the water. On our journey, we meet Mr. Bighead himself, Andrew Ryan. He decided that he wanted to create a utopia for creatives and business people where they wouldn't be held down by basic things such as, morality or government regulation. Somebody must have told our boy Andy that anything goes in international waters because there's no laws, and I think he took it a little too literally because he decided to build his utopian city in international waters, like inside, under the water, under the sea. This first shot of the city is so important. You see this bizarre juxtaposition of this weird kind of Art Deco art style with this bright neon light. Everything looks bizarre, but inviting, strange, but you also want to see more. You notice a few different weird things, like what's that big diver guy? I don't know, maybe we'll find out. All these whales, all these different fishes. It really gets the mind racing about what is possible and what we're going to experience here. As we continue on, we meet a whole cast of characters, including Atlas, our guide and friend throughout this journey. You see, Atlas's wife and son are being held by Andrew Ryan, so we have to go travel through a whole bunch of bullshit to go help him save his wife and kid. Throughout this process, we're introduced to splicers, who are people who are residents of Rapture that were all fucked up from all the genetic experiments they were doing. You see, there's this thing called Adam. It's made by slugs at the bottom of the sea, and you can use it to make plasmids, which basically rewrite your genetic code so you have superpowers such as shooting fire, shooting ice, shooting fucking bees out of your hands. Adam became a big thing in Rapture because everybody wanted it, everybody had to have it, and it was a little tiny bit addictive, so that didn't help matters. To make more Adam, they decided to do what they do best and do more inhumane experiments in which they took little girls, put aforementioned sea slugs into their stomach, and decided to make them into weird genetic monstrosities that create more Adam. They just have to siphon it out of dead bodies and drink a blood smoothie. It's kind of gross, but hey, reduce, reuse, recycle, right? So the little sisters are doing their thing, going around this terrifying nightmare landscape, and they have these big, hulking, giant fuckers following them around, these monstrosities in diving suits, and they call him the Big Daddy, which is funny because that was my nickname in college. The Big Daddy is like genetically bonded with the little sister and will protect her at any and all costs. Most of the time, if you see them in the wild while you're out and about, you want to kind of give them space, but you do want to engage with them. You want to take out the Big Daddy because you get some pretty good rewards one way or the other. There is a good and bad version of the story of this game. As we continue through Rapture, we meet a cast of weird-ass characters. We meet Dr. Steinman, who was doing corrective surgery to try and undo the effects of splicing, where it makes your face kind of a nightmare. But he kind of went off the deep end, so it got even worse for everybody involved. There was also another character that everybody thinks about when they think of this game, and that's Sander Cohen, the artist that lives in Fort Frolic. He's in charge of all of the artistic stuff going on in Rapture, all the music, all the plays, etc. He, as it turns out, has also going off the deep end as things have gone to shit. And he's a little bit, we'll go with eccentric.
I'm feeling full, like an expectant mama.
Not everybody seems to be 100% batshit insane, though. There is Dr. Tenenbaum, and while she was the creator of the Little Sister program, she kind of saw how that turned out and was like, ugh, do not like that. Did not turn out the way I wanted that to. So she's trying to kind of redeem herself by being the self-appointed caretaker of the Little Sisters. Early in the game, she does recruit us to help on her crusade of saving these Little Sisters. She gives us a special plasmid, which will allow us to heal them, get rid of the little, like, weird Frankenstein-esque look on them, and return them to, just mid-2000s graphics, just monsters in that way, not like I drink blood smoothies monsters. The alternative is not helping the Little Sisters and instead harvesting them so that you can kind of use as much Adam as you possibly can and retrieve that from their corpse. Yeah, it's not a good look. We are the good boy, and we do the good boy things, though, so we decide we're going to save all the Little Sisters in this playthrough. Let's talk about the atmosphere real quick. Rapture is absolutely dripping with atmosphere. It is creepy, it is derelict, it is kind of a nightmare, but there are these little sunspots where you can see into the past of how decadent this world was, how over the top and exaggerated it was. I mean, you're building a city at the bottom of the ocean. This is as over the top as it gets. The whole thing kind of reminds me of the poem Ozymandias, if you're familiar with that. It is a poem where there's a relic of an old empire, and essentially this old king declaring he's king of kings, look upon all his works, ye mighty, and despair at how amazing it is. But in the current day, there's nothing left, nothing but barren wasteland all around. That really hits the nail on the vibe of Rapture to me. You see these relics of this amazing, civilization. They're trying to create their own world, but it has all been reduced to decay. And you're just stuck crawling around in the nasty underbelly of it. It's a great vibe for kind of a creepy, horror-ish action game. The plasmids and weapons all feel great to use, and they have great sounds associated with them. I like the concept of using a wrench for a melee weapon, and you can combo that with the shock plasmid, which is a great combo that I kind of crutch too hard on, to be completely honest with you. But the ability to use different types of weapons and plan different types of approaches to the combat by laying traps or using your plasmids in the environment to light oil slicks on fire or create traps that will launch people off of balconies. There's a lot of different ways you can play with the systems in place, and when you get a little further into the game, you get upgrades to your weapons, you get stronger plasmids, you get a crafting system thrown in, and then on top of that, they introduce a research system in which you can use a camera to take a picture of different enemies and you get bonuses against them. There's a lot of pieces that kind of work together to really flush out this world and make interacting with it kind of a joy, which I feel like we kind of forget about in most modern games. So I'm going to get into some spoilers here. If you've heard anything that makes you want to play this game and you have not yet, I would encourage you, go check it out. It is a great time. Without further ado though, let's delve into those spoilers. Atlas's family does get killed by Andrew Ryan just before we are able to save them, and oh boy, that makes Atlas a pretty angry boy. So we're mad too. Of course, Ryan's been fucking with us this whole time. He's been just jacking us around and blocking off all of the paths to get to him. It's been a terrible time. There is like this weird part where you go to this like stripper ghost house. Like a strip club, I guess. I'm losing it. It's a strip club, and you see the ghost of this stripper that had a thing with Andrew Ryan, and you're like, oh, that's weird. Why does he just come here and kill her? And then you find out, oops, she was pregnant. That's awkward. Well, the kid would be like 2 at this point, so that's not necessarily a huge deal, but yeah, that probably didn't work out too well for her. But then things start getting a little weird. The entire time, Atlas has been kind of requesting us to do different things, and he's a pretty polite lad. He's always putting his requests in like a form of, would you kindly do this for me, you know? And you're like, yeah, absolutely, Chief, I can do that. Well, eventually, you come face to face with Andrew Ryan, and he kind of lays it all out for you. And the way he does this is one of those moments that I'll never forget in gaming. It turns out we are actually that child, that ghost stripper child. That's us. And we're not two, we're grown, but that's because of genetic experiments that were done on us. And in those genetic experiments, we kind of got like Manchurian Candidate brainwashed. And Andrew Ryan knows this. Nobody can move around Rapture like we can. They can't use the bathyspheres. They can't even use the Vita chambers that revive you, because all of that has been locked down to Andrew Ryan's DNA. We possess at least part of that DNA, so we're able to move around the place. Thus, we're able to undo all of his plans. He knew this was coming. So he kind of faces us with this bravado, even in the face of death. Because there's one thing that separates a man like Andrew Ryan from us. Andrew Ryan is nothing if not a proud man. He set out to do his own thing. He wanted to create a place where he could follow his desires no matter where they led, and as a result, he created this whole underwater city just because he could, because he wanted to, because he chose to. Andrew Ryan is a fucking asshole. He's a prick. He is dangerous, and he is psychotic. But Andrew Ryan is free. He is a free man. And in his final moments, he really punctuates and makes a point of pointing out the fact that even as we kill him, he is still above us, and we are below him. We are something less than him, because he has choice, and we're just a puppet dancing on a string. This is that iconic twist. This is that moment where everything falls into place, and this is the moment that people who have not even played this game know about. It is that iconic, that memorable. But I mean, enough of me glazing it. I'll get up off my knees here. We gotta wrap this thing up. Turns out, Atlas isn't really Atlas either. Once Ryan's dead, we insert his key into the control of Rapture to stop the self-destruct, but it also kind of gives Atlas control of the city. We find out that Atlas is actually Frank Fontaine, a smuggler who opposed Andrew Ryan and was thought to be dead up until this point. He had a whole fake accent and a fake family. None of that was real. He was playing our ass the whole time. So now we have a reason to seek him out. He gets a little lost in the sauce with the unlimited supply of Adam that he now has access to. He's never even tried this stuff, and now all of a sudden he's just like mainlining the shit. He's throwing pillars around, he's using superpowers, it's all over the place. We finally confront Fontaine, and he is kind of like this Art Deco god of power, of different elements, just juicing himself to the fucking nines with Adam, which is kind of a metaphor for everything, I guess. It's the only logical conclusion we can go to in an Art Deco city kind of fueled by Adam, is to literally have that embodied in the final boss. We do fight him and eventually defeat him. If you do the good boy route, like yours truly, the little sisters come and help you as Fontaine is about to turn the tide in the fight, and they do that by crawling out of the walls and just stabbing the ever-loving shit out of him. I mean, they are really going to town with these needles, these giant atom suction needles. It's pretty horrific, honestly, but it is what it is. After that, you know, they offer you the key to the city, and you turn it down. You don't want to inherit this city from your quasi-father. You don't want to have anything to do with it. And you end up saving the little sisters, taking them to the surface, where they are able to live lives. They are able to go follow their dreams, fall in love, and eventually, at the end of the day, once your life is coming to an end, you have a family there with you. I gotta say, as I've gotten older, that tugs even more at the heartstrings. Oh, but if you're the naughty boy, if you're the bad guy who killed all the little sisters, you go to the surface with the splicers and commandeer fucking nukes. So, you know, there's something for everyone. BioShock is one of those games that you can feel the echoes of it in every game that kind of came afterwards. I don't think we would have a lot of games that we have after that point that people look at fondly for being narrative-focused action games without BioShock. Obviously, System Shock did amazing things as well, but BioShock bridged the gap between niche computer game players and the mainstream. Like I mentioned at the beginning of this, I played this with my roommates in college, and we had people who were there who only played Madden and NBA games. We had people who didn't play video games at all. We had people who were only interested in JRPGs, and we were all there together, sitting on the couch and a couple of lawn chairs, completely engaged with this game, locked in from start to finish. That to me is the magic of BioShock. That to me is what makes it transcend beyond just another game. Its ability to mean something to almost everyone who plays it, regardless of their background or interests. If you have not, I would definitely recommend trying out BioShock. It is a game that is very near and dear to my heart, and I feel like anybody who enjoys modern games should at least give it a try. I know that I was at the right place at the right time when I played this game for the first time, and that may admittedly have made me a little biased, but I think that any game that can be talked about for years afterward deserves a little praise. I mean, me and my roommates would say, "Would you kindly grab me a beer from the fridge?" as a common thing, and if you said, "Would you kindly," the dude couldn't refuse it because, you know, we're all brainwashed idiots or something. I don't know. I still think about those times. I still think about stuff like that. I still think about that first weekend we played this game. And now, years later, we've all gone our separate ways. And while some people may think of the parties they went to in college or the crazy things that they did during their golden years of adolescence, I find myself still thinking about that weekend with leftover Chinese food and hard cider. Sometimes when I'm feeling particularly nostalgic, I play BioShock again. And I wonder if my friends still think about this game and those nights as fondly as I do.
Hey guys, it's HauntedHouse here. Thank you for taking the time to watch the video today. I'm actually finishing up the editing at 3 in the morning, so I'm talking kind of quietly to try and not wake my wife up. Thank you guys so much for taking the time to watch the last video on Resident Evil 7 and for watching this video today. In the age of TikTok attention spans, the fact that you made it through this video is very cool in my opinion, so just know I really appreciate it. A few notes going forward with future videos. The format will change a little bit for these videos. It will be a new format that is still funny and creative, but the structure will be a little bit better, a little more fast-paced, and hopefully it will be a better overall viewing experience for you. As you can probably hear as well, I do have a new microphone that I am using currently that was not used to record the voiceover for this video or the previous video. So going forward, future videos should have higher quality voiceover audio. If you guys want to stay up to date with me, make sure you do a few things. First, subscribe to the channel so you can see when our next video comes out. The nature of these highly edited videos means they are a little slower to produce, and by clicking subscribe and the notification bell, you will not miss any future uploads to this channel. If you enjoyed the video, a like would really go a long way towards helping the video get promoted to more people. And if you want to keep up with me and what I'm up to, my Twitter or X account is in the video description as well. I've already started work on the next video, so get excited for that. But if you do have any suggestions for other games you would like to see me cover here, I'm making a big old list, so feel free to let me know in the comments down below. And last but not least, a huge thank you to the artist who made the thumbnail for this video, BoysMayCry. I have linked both his social media account and his Fiverr gig in the description of this video, so please make sure to check him out. And if you are in need of some badass art, commission him. You will not regret it. But yeah, with all that said, I'm gonna go continue to work on that next video. Thank you guys again for the support and watching this video. As a reward for making it this far, here is a picture of my dog. And as always, make sure to eat well, stay hydrated, take care of yourself and those around you. And I'll see you in the next one, friends.